It is Winter Arc, which is basically where we reset our lives before the start of the new year because it is significantly more productive. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can manifest your dream job, your dream life, whatever it is that you want to bring into reality. So first of all, this is not like my usual content, but I'm telling you it works and it sounds so woo-woo and so crazy.
Always been delusional, yes.
But just try it out. Grab a pen and paper, write it down. It works best when you write it down and you can see it, like put it on your mirror or put it somewhere you can see it every single day. I do have my notes here on my phone, which I'm going to talk about each of my different points, but let's just start into it. When you're trying to manifest your dream life, your dream job, or I'm going to use a job as an example for this video, but when you're trying to manifest what it is that you want for yourself in your dream career, you have to make a very detailed list of how you want your day-to-day to look like. So what time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? If you eat anything for breakfast at all, what do you do in the morning? What time do you start work? What type of clothing do you wear? Where do you live? What are your coworkers like? What time do you finish work? You really want to sit down and think about what is your normal everyday life routine like. And when I did this, I actually took inspiration from different influencers that I saw at the time because first of all, I was a biomedical engineer. I did not like my job. I was actually incredibly miserable doing it. And I wanted to do something else that really aligned with me, but I didn't know what elements that I wanted in my everyday life. So I was like, okay, I want to wake up without an alarm. I want to wake up just in the morning without an alarm. I want to be able to get up in the morning and go work out. So whether it be to a workout class or to the gym or, to something. Like I wanted to do some type of activity in the mornings. And then I wanted to be able to start work around like 9-10. So I didn't want to have like a 5 to 9 a.m. routine. I wanted to have like a very slow morning start where I could wake up, go work out. I could do my morning journaling. I could have my morning cup of tea, which hint, hint, is what I do now. And then I could start my work. And I wanted my work days to be on my own time where if one day I'm really not in a good work zone, that I could work the next day. I also wanted to be able to work from anywhere in the world where I could literally just pick up my laptop and go and work from wherever. I also wanted to work with people that I really aligned with. So whether that be personality wise.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
People that I really genuinely trusted, people that I could work really well with, so we understood each other on a communication level. I also really wanted to be able to stop work when I wanted. So if I, worked really intensely Monday through Wednesday, then I would, not work as much Thursday and Friday, or I could pick my own schedule and kind of design my own schedule on my average day. You want to be very, very specific about what it is that you want your day to look like. I would also recommend that you talk about the different characteristics of what you do. So maybe you're an artist right now, right? And you want to create art that has a huge impact on people. What type of impact do you want to have on people? And what is your community? Like, what is your target audience? Who you want your art to affect? When I did this, I really thought about how I wanted to have an impact in my job. And if you saw my I Quit TikTok video, I talked about how I really just wanted to help my community. And I didn't really know how I was going to do that. And I actually explored a ton of different job options. So I didn't immediately land on content creation, but I did write down that I wanted to have an impact on people where I could inspire people to go after their dreams and live the life they wanted to live. And I also wanted to do a job where I wasn't constantly exhausted. I wasn't constantly tired, or I felt like I always needed a break. I want to do something that really energized me. And I want to do something that was also easy to me, where like I'd have to spend hours and hours and hours doing it. And it just came very easily to me. The one thing I will say about this is that I would refrain from mentioning a specific job title because you don't really know where the universe or where God or whoever you believe in, you don't really know where it's going to take you. So like I said, I listed all the characteristics that I wanted in my job, and I also listed how my everyday life would look like, and I didn't know that it was content creation. I actually thought I was going to be working a job in tech. So it's totally different from what I do now. So if we go back to the example of you being an artist, maybe right now you're a painter, but you really want to have a schedule where, you don't You can work in a physical studio and you work with people that you really love and you create physical art that you really enjoy and that is also really unique. And maybe after a while you realize that it's not you doing oil paintings, but it's actually you working in a pottery studio. I wouldn't really tie like a job title to it per se, because again, it could lead you to anywhere and it kind of opens up the options for what the universe can bring to you. And it's actually really interesting. Like, things always play out in a way that you just don't expect. But you have to get pretty specific on what it is you want. Now, the next thing you have to really hone in on is, what do you want your desired salary to be? Or how much money would you want to make in a single year in your wildest dreams? I mean, it just sounds so unrealistic to you that it scares you to even write it down on paper. And again, this is something where you don't even know the different options and possibilities and opportunities that would be available for yourself. But if you can write this down on paper confidently and say, I'm going to make $300,000 in this job every single year at minimum, or whatever number it is that it is for you, then write that down. And again, it typically leads you to a job that you don't really expect, or a position that you don't really expect, or maybe the position didn't even exist yet, right? But it sounds absolutely insane, but it is 1,000% possible. And a lot of times people make a lot of money doing things that are absolutely crazy. So that's why I challenge you to write down a number that you think is absolutely insane to you, and that is the number that you want to make for in a single year. So how much money would you make in a single year from you working this job? So while you're writing this down, making sure you set the date onto this piece of paper, wherever it is that you're writing down. Make sure you save it so that you know and you can go back to it later, because it always comes later on in time. And it's actually really fun to look back at it and see, oh, I manifested this, like, oh, I wrote this down 2 years ago and it came true. Or like, oh, I wrote this down 6 months ago and it came true. So write it down, make sure you put a date on it. After you've written down all the things that you desire in this dream career, you're now gonna go to ChatGPT. Sounds crazy, but just hear me out. So you're gonna type into ChatGPT to write me an essay that takes 5 minutes to read and describes the emotions of how it feels to live my dream life where I am doing XXXXX and achieving blah, 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 and then just hit send. Right, and ChatGPT is going to give you this essay that you can read to yourself that really describes like what you feel like in the experience of you doing this job every single day. So back to the painter example, if you want to be an artist making $300,000 a year and you want to have, a physical studio that's not tied to your house, but you want to be able to have time for your kids and you want to also help your community and give back to them by throwing a fundraiser every year, whatever it is, right? You are going to read that essay to yourself every single morning. So this is something that you can do straight from your phone, read it in bed, and just take a moment to feel the feelings that ChatGPT says, because ChatGPT will say, like, I feel so grateful and appreciative of being able to do blah, 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 blah. It is so enlightening and so empowering for you to read this back to yourself. And I know this sounds crazy, like, why would I actually do this? But when you read this to yourself every single day for at least a week, but even longer, you can do it longer. When you read it to yourself, you actually start to feel the feelings of what it is like for you to be in this job. Because what you want to do is envision yourself being in this position, being in this career, or living this everyday life every day as if it's normal to you. So you are going to do that on ChatGPT, right? That's going to be like your morning routine. It can be your evening routine, or, right before you go to bed, but that's what you're going to do. And then step 3, because again, these are tangible steps, what you can do to manifest your dream career. So step 3, you are now going to go and follow people in that industry with the elements of what you want in your dream career. So again, I'm using this painter example, don't know why, but let's say you're an artist and you come across an artist on Instagram that has the studio aesthetic that you like, right? Follow that person and just take time to look through, what their everyday life is like, or, what they post about, what their artwork is about. You're really trying to garner inspiration for yourself and really trying to keep it in front of you so you have a physical representation of whatever it is that you want in your life. So if you're like, I want to wake up every day and I want to go to Pilates class, find a Pilates girl on the internet and follow her and just watch her stories, when she goes to Pilates every day. It's something that's really, really simple, but when you start to visually see what your life can look like, it is really helpful for you to bring that into fruition and into your actual reality. If you want to hire a personal chef to cook your meals so you don't have to, cook your meals every time you go to work or whatever it is, then follow a personal chef on Instagram and watch them, how they prep the food, how they serve it to their clients, anything like that. So you want to start to follow people on social media so that you can see regularly, whether it be multiple times a week or, once a week, whatever it is, in your face, in reality, that are doing the things that you want to do. Now, the thing is, when you are watching people that have these elements of what you want in your life, you have to watch them with pure intentions. So you can't watch them with jealousy, like, oh, I can't believe they're doing that and I'm stuck in this position where I have to go to this job at Amazon every day. That is not going to help you actually bring in your manifestation, and it actually is going to push it away from you further and further and further. So what you want to do instead is follow people that not only have the lifestyle of what you want or elements of that lifestyle that you want, but watch them with a sense of genuine happiness, as if you're watching your friends, your actual friends, not like frenemy weirdness, but as if you're watching your friends get what they want, right? So watch them as if they're a friend and you're like, oh my God, girl, I'm so happy for you that you got to go to Pilates this morning. Like, that was so great. When you watch people with a sense of appreciation or, proudness or gratitude, it signals to the universe that not only do you want this in your life for yourself, but also that you're happy for other people that have it too. Because the thing about manifesting is that when you decide that you want something, the universe will start to show it to you over and over and over and over again. And it's how you respond to it that will allow it to bring it into your life. So let's say you want to start your own coffee shop, right? You are then all of a sudden going to see all these people online starting your coffee shop, or you're going to see a bunch of different coffee shops, around your neighborhood that you never recognized before. And that's like the universe's way of being like, yeah, it's coming to you. Like, this is going to be your reality soon. So instead of you being jealous of these people that are starting their coffee shops or seeing them as competition, you should see it as, oh my gosh, they're doing it, so I can do it too. So you want to watch people with a genuine appreciation and genuine happiness for them having the manifestation that you also want in your life. And then, so step number, what is this, 4. Okay, step number 4 is deciding that you are the exception. So this one is very, very interesting, because if you've ever shared like your dreams or your aspirations or your goals with anyone and they've told you like that's unrealistic, or like, oh, people, like you don't really do that, or I've never seen anyone do that before, things that are kind of doubting you and instill doubt in you, you have to decide that you are the exception. So let's say you are manifesting this art studio, right? And you may not have the best credit. For one thing, you should be careful about who you tell your goals and your dreams to. But let's say you tell someone that ends up being a frenemy, right? And they're like, oh, you have to have an 800 credit score to actually rent out a building. Like, people don't just, get buildings. You have to decide, you know what? Even if that's true, I am the exception. Even if people can only rent buildings for businesses if they have an 800 credit score, I know that I can still do this, that I'm going to be the exception to this rule, that they're going to make an exception for me, that something is going to happen where I do not have to follow those rules. So you have to decide that you are the exception for whatever it is that you are trying to bring in your reality. In my own life, I used to be a biomedical engineer, and I didn't see anyone that had a technical science background all of a sudden switch to being a full-time content creator. It was not something that I saw on the internet. It was not something that I saw in my everyday life, like in person. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to be the first one to do it. I'm going to be the exception. I am just going to be it. And people are going to love my story because, it's something that they may resonate with in some way, some shape, some form. But I decided, yeah, nope, I'm going to be the exception and it's going to work out for me. So you have to constantly tell yourself, like, yeah, there may not be anyone that I know in real life that, owns their own art studio and makes massive amounts of money, but I'm going to be an exception. I am the exception. That plus reading the ChatGPT prompt every single day really allows you to feel the feelings of you already having whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. And then the last thing, is this number 5? I think this is number 5. Okay, the last thing of number 5 is to slowly start to introduce elements of your dream career into your real life. So you might be saying like, okay, but I'm an artist, I'm trying to have my own art studio. How am I gonna all of a sudden, bring that into my life. So if that's something that you're manifesting and you want to be, an owner of an art studio, maybe you just start to go to different art galleries in the area and talk to the owners of those art galleries. Maybe you want to manifest a schedule where you go to Pilates every morning, Monday through Friday. You may not be able to do that right now, but you can go to one Pilates class on a Saturday in the morning and just pretend that it's a weekday in your mind and that this is a part of your normal morning routine. Maybe you're trying to manifest a job where you have a C-suite and you work in corporate and you have a very important position in, let's say, a Fortune 500 company. Maybe you just start to dress the part, right? Every Tuesday, you start to wear a suit to work, or you wear like a nicer outfit, right? To pretend that you're going to that C-suite. Or maybe every now and again during lunch breaks, you go and visit the C-suite and, whoever is working in that office at the time. There are little things that you can do throughout your day and throughout your weeks on a regular basis that start to introduce little things in your life. So when I was manifesting this dream career, again, I didn't know I was gonna be a content creator, but when I was manifesting it, I really wanted to be able to wake up and have my tea in the mornings while I journal. And I also wanted to be able to read for at least an hour every single morning. And when I was working as a biomedical engineer, I didn't have time to read for an hour every single day. Like I had to get up and go to a lab. But I did read every day for like 10 minutes. I would give myself 10 minutes a day, and if I had more time, then I would, but I would do the routine that I wanted to do today. However, I would do it for a much shorter period of time. So today, my morning routine takes like 2 hours, which is kind of insane. But back then, I was doing my morning routine in a matter of like 30 minutes. It really helped me bring it into reality because I was doing it in little bits and chunks. I also really wanted a job where I could be creative and that I could inspire people. And I was doing that through my videos at the time. Again, I didn't really know that this was the job I was going to have, but I was doing that in small little spurts when I was a part-time creator and creating online. So those little elements of the things that I wanted in my life were starting to come into my life, but I was doing them in smaller chunks of time and smaller bits as opposed to what I do now. So hopefully this video was helpful for you to manifest your dream career. Like I said, it is the winter arc, so it's a perfect time for you to do it before the new year comes around. But if you do happen to see this video in the new year, know that you can definitely do this. And you can even incorporate different elements of your dream career, your dream life on your vision board if you're a vision board girly. If you guys want to see how I do my vision boards and my technique for vision boards that I've been doing for the last 4 years, let me know in the comments and I will see you in the next video. Bye.